Today we're going to do a little bit of designing and prototyping. This is the previous method I was using to cut the slots on the clutch for my mechanical eraser. It didn't hold the clutch good enough, so I'm going to try to design a collet block for the lathe. I don't have a mill, so this is the best that I'm going to be able to do. When I'm designing, I like to use a green Sharpie to show what I'm going to machine to. That means half the diameter or the distance over accounting for the thickness of my cutting tool. That way, I can just read out the green dimensions and machine to that without having to do math as I go. Everything's worked out for me. Alright, so I'm making the clutch that goes inside of there. Just going to thread this and crash the tool into the side. Luckily I had a leather belt so the tool didn't break. Best way to fix that is to go to the right and snap the tip off the tool. Okay, so that didn't work very well. Now let's make another one. And that one broke too. I guess I designed it so the wall's a little bit thin on those. Let's start on a different part. Using this rod that was already threaded on the inside, I'll just trim it down a little bit. Okay, back to the clutch, doing the threads. That worked out a little bit better. Just add lots of threads and I'll cut them off. That way I don't crash into anything. Since the parts fit together well but have a little bit of an interference, I'm going to use this Flitz polish. That'll take off some of the high spots as it's spinning. I think it's super cool to be able to just draw something out and then a few hours later have something that is that design. So this part didn't work out exactly as I hoped, but I learned from it and I might buy something else and modify it to make it work for my purposes. But whether I use it or not, it's still pretty satisfying. I spent a lot of time getting the dimensions just right, and it just makes a perfect seal. Here's the middle piece. Here's that rod that goes in the back, and this is the kind of a collet to hold on to my part. The screws together, dimensions turned out really well. This collet I had a tough time on. The first one broke, and the second one also broke, so it's not as long as I wanted it to be. So it's not working very well, but it would hold on to this clutch. It would screw in here, and when this goes together, clutch would go in there, this would go in my tool post, I tighten everything down, and then just rotate it 4 even times. That'd give me 4 evenly spaced slots if I was to rotate this around in my tool post. So that would make these more even, easier to cut.